Hi everybody, John Cena here, and welcome to this double Paralympian special one-off FunkQuest episode. And I'm hoping today we're going to get insights into the minds and mindset of elite athletes. And we have a winter sports person, and a summer sports person. So, ladies first, Louise, tell us who you are and where you are dialing in from.
My name's Louise Hunt. I'm a former wheelchair tennis player, Paralympian. I'm actually dialing in from Walsall, but I live in Wiltshire. It's a bit of a curveville.
Give us some Walsall accent.
Oh my goodness, that's like Birmingham, right? Like Brummie. Come from Birmingham. It's terrible. Accent's not my strong point.
Tell us where you are, where you're dialing in from.
So my name is Talan Skeels-Piggins. I am a retired winter skier, Paralympian, and I am dialing in from Ashted, which is very close to Epsom Racecourse.
The rules of FunkQuest are simple. Each Funkster selects one of 4 icons. Behind each icon is a question which may or may not have anything to do with the icon. The Funkster then has 1 minute to tell a story, tell a joke, or maybe even answer the question.
Usual FunkQuest rules apply. No swearing, no politics, no religion. Apart from that, say what you want. All questions are sport and sport history related. We'll go ladies first. You can pick a cyclist, a swimmer, a golf putting thing, and some kids playing football. And you should know that the question will have nothing to do with that.
I'll go swimming then. It's my favourite one out.
Swimming. What's your favourite sport in PE?
So controversially, I hated PE at school. It was my least favourite sport. My least favourite lesson, because I actually struggled at school because I always felt like I didn't quite fit in with the lessons. But my favourite was when we used to do cross country. Because my school were really cool and would let me like work out my own route, and they were pretty flexible. But I remember one year, so they always told me that the route was inaccessible, the normal route. But I was like, can I test that for myself? And they were like, you can, but it's not accessible. Turns out they were right. So my classmates carried me around most of it, but I just wanted to give it a go and felt like, yeah, I can do it. But turns out they were right in the end. But probably cross country. But ironically, I didn't enjoy PE at school at all.
How did your PE teacher motivate you to do sport?
I think I was quite lucky in that they were really great at understanding how important tennis was to me. So they always tried to relate it back to that and be like, if there was something, say, football on the field, but I couldn't really do that well, they'd be like, what can you do that's tennis related? So they kept me motivated by linking it back to the interest that I had in sport. And that really, really helped.
When did you start realising that you were half decent, good, going to be good, whatever you want to call it? What age were you when that happened?
I think it was when I got to my first ever junior masters final, which is this massive junior event in France, like the biggest one out there. And like the year I was there, Nadal was playing, and I got to the final, and that was probably the moment where I was really young. I think I was like 15, and I was like, oh, actually, maybe I could do this, properly, like full time. So that's probably the biggest moment.
So your early teens, 12, 13, 14, she just thought, hang on, wasting our time with this, and she wants to be a tennis player.
Yeah, to get me out.
Yeah, excellent. Good answer. Talan, you can pick a cyclist. Playing football. You go for the cyclist.
Yeah.
Well, it's got nothing to do with the question. How has the quality of sports fans changed in the last 3 decades?
Let's talk. If we can talk about sort of Paralympic sport, then it's more about the quantity. Especially London 2012 made a massive impact upon the sport, and suddenly people wanted to come and watch Paralympic sport, which was fantastic. The sports fans have become more educated and aware of the immense amount of time and effort that goes into becoming an elite athlete. You're not just there making up numbers and having a go. You're actually, putting in hours upon hours of time and dedication of your life. Lots of other things just get put on hold and get pushed to one side whilst you're focusing on your sport. And I think the fans have become aware of that and have recognised that within disabled sport, we're not just there, to make up numbers and to feel good. We're there to actually compete.
We never, ever could have gone to the level of granularity that we just jumped to there. So fantastic. Good answer. Thank you, Louise. Question 2, you can pick a treadmill, a skier, some people playing football, or a track.
Let's go track.
Track. Who's the best sporting underdog?
What a question that is. the one I got two that come to mind. I don't know if they're a bit obvious, but obviously I have to big up Emma Raducanu, because she, to me, at the US Open, just proved that rankings, titles, experience, actually, if you've got the grit, determination, and train hard enough, you can actually get to where you want to go to. So, because that is phenomenal what she did, to have gone through all the qualifiers and then won it. Outstanding. And then for me personally, I have to say Andy Murray, because I feel like what he's done to have come out of the sport, had those operations on his hips, come back and be doing insanely well, getting titles back, and to be absolutely determined to, I think he's got his own targets in his head, which I love. And they're not all about winning medals and titles. They're like, I want to win this amount of matches, I think is the definition of an underdog. So those two for me.
So what's he going to do this year? Is he going to win Wimbledon? Is he going to win US Open? What's he going to win?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. I don't know. I've got no idea what's to come for him. But what I like about him is I think he's got a really healthy attitude now, where he just, like I say, he grounds it to like personal goals and outcomes. And it's not all about the fancy stuff. He really has gone back to his roots about why he loves the sport. And I think I love seeing somebody that high up, that well known, say, I do this because I love it. And I think that's often rare now. When you get quite high, it's all about the money and fame and titles, whatever.
And fame, ticking boxes, signing kids' t-shirts.
Yeah, he now does it for the love. And I think that's awesome.
Good answer. Very good answer. So we can talk about anything. Talan, question 2. Treadmill.
Yeah.
Now, here you go. Are sportsmen and women worth the money they are being paid?
We don't get paid.
Yes.
We do it because we love it.
Yeah, like most people. Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. In my entire time as a member of the British team, the only 2 weeks I didn't pay for myself was the Paralympics.
And that's an insight in itself.
So, there you go.
That is an insight in itself.
Different countries, different regimes. From what I used to hear, the American A team, then they would get their stuff paid for and have some form of money to help, because you're not able to earn. So I would have to spend 6 months of the year, 5-6 months of the year away in the mountains training for skiing, and I had to pay for all the travel. I had to pay for my equipment, I had to pay for the hotels. And so there was very little support. I had to, in the summer, I would eat every other day so that I would save the money in order to go skiing.
Do you think that as a nation that we are more aligned with like elite sport than probably we were in the past?
Yeah, we do, but there are sort of you've got football, league, which were the two sort of big sports where you had professionalism, and then rugby got it, and then gradually other sports have it. Outside of those core ones, it's very difficult to actually make a living. You've got to have a second job.
True, yeah.
Certainly that's what I do mentoring, and I always tell the athletes that I'm mentoring that they've got to focus on their studies just as much, because you've got to earn a living as well as being a competitor, and it's very difficult. And it's not I would say equal across the board throughout all sports. Some get ridiculous amounts of money, and others that put in just as much time and effort get nothing.
I once read, and we'll move on to the next question in a moment, that we will never win another medal at Olympic marathon, because to get to that level, you've got to dedicate, your life to get to a certain stage before you even get any lottery funding.
Well, you can never say never. You never, who knows what athlete might turn up?
True. Yeah, true.
You could have some incredible athlete, if they get the opportunity and they get the chance and they get the talent ID.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Nothing is impossible.
True. Good insight, Louise. Baseball, tennis ball, rubber cricket ball, or football?
I'm going to go rubber cricket ball on the beach, because I love the beach.
Rubber cricket ball. We're going to go for the sand. Which famous sporting grounds have you been to? And this should be quite good for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, the ultimate is obviously Wimbledon. Yeah. And it is one of my favourites, because I feel really blessed at Wimbledon, because I've been there as a spectator, as a player, and as a commentator. So I feel like I've had every role there. So that, I love that. The Olympic Stadium, so I went to the Beijing Olympic Stadium, London and Rio. So I guess they're up there for me. The Australian Open venue, obviously US Open, Arthur Ashe. So I think the nature of being in tennis, we're quite lucky in that we're in quite big arenas. So I've been super lucky to have not only travelled to them, but to competed in a lot of them. So I feel quite lucky, to be honest, to be able to say that.
That's history, and you've just reeled off almost like a small sliver of sporting history.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, I just feel, because to touch on what Talan said a minute ago, like sports are super different, but the nature of tennis does take us to some great countries, great places, great venues that are like world renowned, famous part of history today. And it is something that always feels amazing to be like, I played on the grass at Wimbledon. Like that feels amazing. And I'll never forget it, even though I hated wearing white. Apart from that, amazing. Not my colour.
Why do you hate wearing white? Is it just
not my colour? Not with this pasty exterior. Real life problems, guys. Real life problems.
Talan, baseball, tennis ball, or football?
I'm going to have a football.
Football. Which would you prefer to go to, an international or a club match?
Okay, I suppose if I was, seeing as it's football, I'll talk about football. I'd love to go to an international. I was fortunate enough to go to England, Germany. I've only just got into football. So I grew up in Cornwall, and the school I was at, we didn't play football, we played rugby. So I've always gone down that route, and I played rugby. And I used to go to Twickenham and, watch internationals that way. And so I've just recently got into football, and my fiance, her son, he's got me into football, and I go to watch Brentford. So I'm now a Brentford fan.
Premier League, yeah.
And it's great to go with him, and just the energy from the fans is absolutely bonkers. And to go to a big international to see. I don't know. I'd love to get involved with some Italian, being the Italian.
Yeah.
They just looks like a lot of noise, or some of the big German ones, or any international. Yeah, I'd love
France,
that.
Italy, that'd be a big match. France, Italy.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. In Italy. So the answer to the question is most definitely internationals. Yeah, excellent. Louise, question 4. You can pick American football, a racing car, a tennis player, or some fencing.
Let's go fencing.
Fencing?
Yeah, why not?
Would your team of yesteryear be your favourite team of today? Any sport you can pick, or a tennis player?
Gotta say, it's gonna have to be individual. I'll keep it with tennis. Murray, Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, those guys, the big four, now would wipe the floor, I think, with the McEnroes and these kind of older boys. With no disrespect to them, I don't believe it's got anything to do with work ethic and all that sort of stuff, but I think it's just the development of sports science, technology, equipment, a bit like what Talan mentioned earlier, like the fact that they can dedicate their life to it. The prize money is massive in able-bodied tennis, so they can commit all their time to it. The team they have around them. So no, I think the guys of today, I think, would definitely have an edge or an advantage. No disrespect.
No, but the boys in the way back when in any sport, they did what they did to win.
Yeah,
and now you just
there's a lot more to it now. It's a bigger package, and although in some ways I would actually say maybe back in the day, like you were saying, it was more the passion, love, and drive. There's just so much around an athlete now, especially in able-bodied sport. The team, the education, the development of sport is massive, and I think that just carries so much weight.
Talan, question 4: American football, racing car, or tennis player?
Well, I'll take tennis.
Tennis. That's a sporting thing to do. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. What was the first Olympics you remember?
I can't remember the year, but when we had Daley Thompson, was that 80 something?
Moscow, 1980, I believe.
Oh, just watching him with the big moustache and the decathlon, he was an absolute hero.
Daley Thompson, he's cropped up before actually, and I think we worked out he won everything and he held every title at the same time for about 5 years.
No, he was just a total legend. That's the winter ones, the summer games. I suppose the winter ones is Franz, I think Franz Klammer was in it. Franz
Klammer, when was that? 1978.
When I first got into it. But no, the most, I think, most impactful was Daley Thompson.
I think Daley Thompson impacted a generation. He's the definition of motivate, whatever it was, inspire a generation. He's the definition. And
he had a great catch, and he did. Carried it well. There's two people I wanted an autograph from. One was Daley Thompson, and the other was Sir Roger Bannister.
Sir Roger Bannister.
Yeah, and I managed to get Sir Roger Bannister's autograph. That was really important.
Question 5, Louise. Archery, tennis, ice hockey, or golf?
I'll do a tennis one.
Tennis, just for a change.
Yeah. I feel like I should commit to the sport, you know.
I mean, I don't know if this is a problem in tennis, but how much of a problem is match fixing in sport?
It's not something that I had personal experiences of. And we were always really lucky to receive support in understanding what that looks like, how to protect yourself. So I never was affected by it in my career. And it's not something I heard of in tennis at all in my career. I do hear about it in other sports, like odd snippets here and there. But personally, I think it's come so far. Like there's so much kind of fencing around it to make sure it doesn't happen. And the penalties and punishments are high now that I think has helped it a lot. I think, you know, a while back it was more of a problem, but now, because obviously with the match fixing, the athletes are often involved in that match fixing, and now the penalties and things are so high. I mean, you get struck off completely, your whole career is finished. So I think it happens less because of that. I certainly hope so anyway. I'm definitely not an expert on the topic, but I personally very luckily didn't experience.
You've never been approached, you know, double fault here or do something there or
no. I was
Uh,
super lucky, never got approached with anything like that. But like I say, I felt like I was supported and briefed enough by, you know, my federation to be prepared for it. But actually it never happened to me. And no one's ever told me that it's happened to them either in our sport. So that's a good thing. So it must be, it clearly isn't a big problem then in wheelchair tennis for sure. And I feel like I would have heard about it in able-bodied as well. So I guess the answer is hopefully it's not a big problem at all anymore.
The snooker's been on at the moment, and when they get caught at snooker, you know, they play the wrong shot. There's obviously a situation where you play the certain shot. I don't suppose it's like that in tennis, where you just, I don't know.
So the way it was always described to me was like the outcome or the scoreline. So for example, if there was a bet on that somebody would lose less than 5 games, if you can give up this amount of games and win with this scoreline, say 6-2, 6-2, then I'll split the profits with you. So it's more the scoreline that would be affected.
Correct score betting.
You know, if you lose, I'll split these profits with you. So it can be as simple as that. So it's more that than like the specific shots.
Yeah. Good answer. Say you didn't know anything about it. Very good. Talan, archery, ice hockey, or golf?
I will have a little bit of archery. If that's okay.
Archery. Who is the greatest player of all time, any sport?
This argument will just rumble on and on and on.
You got a minute.
Muhammad Ali, boxing.
Yeah.
You know,
agreed. Yeah.
Greatest.
Invented sports personality.
But I would say on different surfaces. Nadal, clay.
Yeah.
You know,
golf. I mean, Tiger Woods.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan. I think he's just incredible what he can do.
Yeah.
Pele the greatest. I mean, within their decades, within their sort of. Within their years that they were competing, then obviously Pele, Louise has mentioned, you know, sport has moved on. You have sport, so much money and investment is now into sports science. So you've got sports psychology, you've got strength and conditioning, you've got nutrition, you've got such a bigger area to support you as an athlete and to help you take it to an even greater level. So it would always have to be the greatest athlete within their
bubble, their generation. Yeah, excellent, good answer. That's the end of the show. Excellent. I'm not going to declare a winner because I think you're both very funky, but very, very good answers. Louise, how can we contact you and find out more about you?
So you can find me on social media at LouiseHunt1, or I also have a website which is www.louisehunt.co.uk.
Excellent. Talan, how can we find out more about you?
So my business website is paralympianspeaker.com. And then if you're interested in reading, I've got a children's book, and that's The Little Person Inside.
Children's books. Oh, we'll have to get into this next hour on the show. We'll get you on the authors and writers edition. We'll find out about that. Athletes, elite athletes, thank you so much for taking time out to be on the show. Yeah. And we'll speak soon. Thank you so much. But we'll see you next time when the series resumes. Thanks so much and take care.